Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in your life when you've got to recognize the difference between being kind and being careless with your spirit. Some of you have mistaken friendliness for favor, and you've handed out access to your life like candy on Halloween night. You keep wondering why people don't treat you with respect, why they walk past your boundaries, why they misuse your kindness. Because you made it too cheap. You made yourself too available. Respect is not born in abundance. Respect is born in rarity. People don't cherish what they can reach without effort. Diamonds are buried deep in the earth. Oil must be drilled for. Even gold has to be refined. But you have been giving yourself away without requiring anyone to pay the price of loyalty, of integrity, of consistency. You've been showing up for people who don't even care if you arrive. You've been giving away time, energy, affection, and wisdom to people who never sowed into you. Stop being too friendly. Stop allowing anyone and everyone to have the gift of your presence. Stop explaining yourself to people who never took the time to understand you in the first place. Stop pouring your spirit into broken vessels who only leak what you've given them. Your availability is not the measure of your worth. The fact that you can be reached by everyone does not mean you should be reached by everyone. A king does not dine with every guest at the table. Queen does not open her chambers to every passerby. Royalty walks with discretion. And you, yes, you are royalty. You've been taught to think that being too friendly makes you loved. No, my friend. Being too friendly makes you used. You become the one people call when they need something, but they're silent when you're in need. You become the shoulder to cry on. No one offers you a hand to rise. You become the constant giver, but rarely the receiver. And the tragedy, you confuse that with love. Love without balance is slavery. Respect is earned when you set limits. Value is recognized when you step back. People don't miss what is always in their face. They miss what requires effort to keep. Some of you need to withdraw, not because you don't love people, because you must teach them the weight of your presence. You must show them the power of your silence. You must train them to understand that your time, your love, your wisdom, these are treasures, not trinkets. Stop being too friendly. Stop making excuses for people who keep crossing you. Stop laughing when you should be correcting. Stop giving discounts on a life that was purchased at full price through your pain, your struggles, your tears, your victories. Boundaries are not walls, they are gates, and gates are open selectively. Some people need to stay outside your gate because your peace is too precious, your purpose is too sacred, your energy is too limited to waste on people who don't value it. So today, I challenge you, tighten the circle, raise the standard, don't be mean, but don't be careless. Don't be arrogant, but don't be naive. Protect your essence. Guard your heart. Respect yourself enough to require respect from others. There is a powerful truth that many people never discover until they are wounded. Drained or broken, your value will never be recognized until you learn to create boundaries. Boundaries are not selfish. They are not cruel. They are not a sign that you don't love people. Boundaries are the very proof that you love yourself enough to protect what makes you whole. The reality is that anything of worth comes with limits. The most valuable treasures on this earth are hidden behind restrictions. You can't walk into a bank and take money from the vault without permission. You can't step into a palace and have immediate access to the throne. You can't stroll into a jewelry store and walk away with diamonds without paying the price. Why? Because value is always guarded. Value is always protected. Value always comes with boundaries. So why then do we live as though our time, our energy, our peace, our hearts are to be given away freely to anyone who demands them? Why do we allow people to drain us with their constant complaints, selfish expectations, and their inconsiderate behavior? Why do we keep tolerating relationships, friendships, and associations that rob us of our joy, give us nothing in return? The answer is simple. We have not learned the discipline of boundaries. When you lack boundaries, you make yourself a doormat. You send a silent message to the world, I am available for masseuse. And people, whether knowingly or unknowingly, will take advantage of that invitation. They will pull on you when you are tired. They will demand from you when you have nothing left to give. They will drain your emotional energy and still complain that you didn't do enough. And if you're not careful, you'll start to think that this is normal. This is the price of love, that this is the cost of kindness. But it's not. True love requires balance. True respect requires boundaries. If you want people to value who you are, you must first decide that not everyone deserves equal access to you. Not everyone should have the right to your time. Not everyone should be allowed to speak into your life. Not everyone has earned the privilege of sitting at your table. People value what costs them something. The harder something is to obtain, the more they appreciate it when they finally have it. A person will cherish a job that took years of preparation more than one they stumbled into by accident. They will value a relationship they had to work for more than one that came too easily. They will protect a car they saved years to purchase more than one they were simply handed. Scarcity breeds appreciation. Effort produces respect. Boundaries create value. Think about your own life. How many times have you allowed people to interrupt your peace simply because you didn't want to say no? How many times you let people overstay their welcome in your heart even after they showed you that they did not honor your worth? How many times have you sacrificed your dreams, your rest, your happiness just to keep people comfortable? And after all that, how often did those same people fail to even say thank you? It is not that they are always evil. It is that you did not teach them how to treat you. People don't always know your limits until you declare them. People won't always respect your value until you show them it comes with a standard. If you constantly make yourself too available, too accessible, too cheap, don't be surprised when people handle you like something ordinary. Boundaries are the language of self-respect. They are how you announce to the world, I know who I am. I know what I carry. I know what I deserve. I will not allow anyone to treat me less than the treasure I am. Without boundaries, you risk losing your identity in the noise of everyone else's demands. Without boundaries, you become a slave to the expectations of people who will never be satisfied. Without boundaries, you sacrifice your future for people who don't even care if you have one. Saying no is not rejection. It is protection. It is you preserving the best parts of yourself for the moments and people that matter most. It is you refusing to waste precious energy on things that drain you instead of build you. It is you safeguarding your assignment, your calling, your destiny, so that you don't squander it on people who were never meant to carry it. Value requires boundaries because without them, your value is diluted. Imagine a priceless painting displayed in the middle of a crowded street. People would bump into it, smear it, stain it, eventually ruin it, not because they hate art, but because it was placed in the wrong environment. But that same painting hung in a museum with velvet ropes around it, security guards by its side, and careful lighting to preserve it, becomes something people marvel at, respect, and protect. The difference is not the painting itself. The difference is the boundary that reveals its value. Stop apologizing for protecting yourself. Stop feeling guilty for saying no. Stop explaining your decisions to people who were never meant to guide your destiny. If someone cannot respect your boundaries, then they cannot respect you. If someone gets angry because you decided to protect your peace, they were only benefiting from your lack of boundaries in the first place. Don't confuse loyalty with slavery. Don't confuse kindness with self-destruction. Don't confuse love with endless sacrifice. The people who truly love you will honor your boundaries. People who truly value you will not complain when you demand respect. The people who are meant to walk with you will never be offended when you protect your worth. Your time is precious. Your energy is sacred. Your life is too valuable to be wasted on people who don't appreciate it. You don't need to be everywhere for everyone. You don't need to say yes to every request. You don't need to open the door to every person who knocks. The truth is, if you are always available, you will rarely be appreciated. Value requires boundaries. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is not rejection, it is protection. It is not arrogance, it is self-respect. And when you set those boundaries, you will finally begin to experience the freedom, the peace, and the honor that you deserve. There is nothing wrong with being friendly. In fact, kindness is one of the greatest gifts you can give to the world. A warm smile, a gentle word, a helping hand. These things can open doors, heal wounds, and inspire hope. But friendliness without discernment is not kindness. It is carelessness. When you live without discernment, you are inviting disrespect into your life. Discernment is the ability to see beyond the surface. It is the wisdom to know who belongs in your space and who does not. It is the inner radar that tells you when someone is genuine and when someone is playing a game. Without it, you risk treating everyone the same. You extend equal access to people who are not equal in character, in intentions, or in purpose. You offer the same trust to the loyal and the disloyal, the same time to the worthy and the unworthy, the same energy to the sincere and the manipulative. And what happens when you do this? People begin to disrespect you. Not because you are bad, not because you are weak, but because you have blurred the lines between wisdom and naivete. When you are too friendly with everyone, you remove the mystery of your value. You erase the standards that protect your worth. You become common in the eyes of people who should have been required to prove themselves before accessing you. People are always testing boundaries. They may not even do it consciously, but every human being wants to know where the line is drawn. If you give unlimited friendliness, unlimited time, limited access, they will assume that there are no lines. And where there are no lines, there is no respect. Think about a teacher in a classroom. The moment the students realize the teacher has no rules, chaos erupts. Not because the children hate the teacher, but because boundaries were never established. The same happens in life. If you make yourself available to anyone at any time, for any reason, you are silently teaching people that you do not require respect. Friendliness is beautiful, but discernment makes it powerful. Without discernment, your friendliness is like water poured into a leaking jar. It will never hold. You will give and give, yet feel empty. You will smile at faces that mock you in secret. You will support people who would never defend you. You will celebrate others who are secretly envious of your light. And slowly, you will begin to notice that your friendliness has not won you love, has earned you disrespect. Disrespect grows in the soil of overexposure. When you let people too close too soon, they stop appreciating your presence. When you give too much too fast, they stop valuing your efforts. When you are too eager to please, they stop believing you deserve honor. Before you realize it, you will have surrounded yourself with people who use you instead of value you, who tolerate you instead of respect you, drain you instead of support you. This is why discernment is not optional. It is essential. Discernment teaches you that not everyone should sit at your table. Some people belong in the outer court, some in the inner court, very few at the altar of your heart. Discernment helps you separate acquaintances from friends, friends from confidence, and confidence from destiny partners. Without it, you risk misplacing people, giving a Judas the loyalty meant for a Peter, or trusting a Delilah with the secrets meant only for God. You cannot afford to confuse friendliness with wisdom. Friendliness says, I welcome you. Discernment asks, why are you here? Friendliness opens the door. Discernment decides how far inside they should come. Friendliness makes you approachable. Discernment makes you respected. Many people have sabotaged their own destiny because they confused friendliness with trust. They thought a smile meant loyalty. They mistook laughter for sincerity. They assumed kindness was love. And they ended up betrayed, wounded, and broken. The pain wasn't in the friendliness. The pain was in the lack of discernment. Being friendly without discernment is like leaving your house unlocked because you want to be kind. Yes, people will come in. Not all of them will honor the space. Some will steal, some will damage, and some will leave it worse than they found it. You may think you are showing love. What you are really showing is negligence. In the same way, when you open your life without discernment, you are not practicing kindness. You are endangering yourself. When you start setting boundaries, when you start using discernment, people may accuse you of being distant, guarded, or even unfriendly. But do not mistake their accusations for truth. They only complain because they can no longer exploit your open door. True friends will respect your discernment. Real connections will not demand unlimited access. People who are meant to be in your life will celebrate your standards, not resent them. There is a reason why even the sun has boundaries. It shines on everyone, but its intensity varies. Too close and it burns. Too far and you freeze. In the same way, your friendliness must be balanced with wisdom. Shine on everyone, but don't let everyone come close enough to burn you. Offer warmth, protect your fire, share light, but preserve the flame. Your spirit is too valuable to be exposed to just anyone. Your dreams are too fragile to be placed in careless hands. Your heart is too sacred to be given to people who cannot honor it. If you want to be respected, you must first practice discernment. Respect is not demanded, it is cultivated. It is cultivated by showing others that you will not allow your friendliness to become foolishness. True discernment does not make you cold, it makes you clear. It does not make you unkind, it makes you wise. It does not remove your compassion, it refines it. With discernment, you still love, but you love wisely. Enough, you still help, but you help with limits. You still welcome, but you welcome with purpose. Friendliness without discernment is a trap. It makes you the person everyone calls when they need something, but no one remembers when you are in need. It makes you the listener of everyone's burdens, but the bearer of your own pain in silence. It makes you the cheerleader in everyone's story, but invisible in your own. And over time, you will find that your friendliness did not earn you love, it earned you exhaustion. But when you add discernment to friendliness, everything changes. You no longer waste energy on people who do not value it. You no longer share secrets with people who will use them against you. You no longer allow disrespect to hide behind the mask of friendship. Instead, you walk in wisdom. You give with purpose. You love with clarity. And most of all, you protect your peace. Friendliness without discernment breeds disrespect, but friendliness with discernment breeds honor. Learn the difference, and you will never again be taken for granted. Life has a way of giving back to you exactly what you tolerate. The way people speak to you, the way they handle you, the way they respond to you, it is often less about who they are and more about what you allow. Whether you realize it or not, every single day you are teaching people how to treat you. You teach them with your silence. You teach them with your yes and with your no. You teach them with your boundaries or with the lack of them. You teach them when you allow disrespect to slide. You teach them when you laugh off what really hurts you. You teach them when you ignore the red flags because you're afraid of losing the relationship. People are always learning you. They are studying your responses, observing your actions, testing your limits. And when you refuse to speak up, when you allow someone to mistreat you, you have taught them that this is acceptable. Not by words, but by your tolerance. Respect is not given by default. It is drawn by the standards you establish. Think about it. If a child grows up in a home where every tantrum is rewarded with candy, what do they learn? They learn that crying gets them their way. If an employee shows up late to work every day and never faces consequences, what do they learn? They learn that punctuality doesn't matter. In the same way, if people consistently disrespect you and you continue to give them access, you have trained them to believe that your worth is negotiable. You don't just receive treatment, you permit it. You don't just endure behavior, you endorse it when you let it continue. Every time you stay silent when someone crosses the line, you're signing an invisible contract that says, it's okay, do it again. Every time you give more chances to someone who keeps taking advantage of you, you are teaching them that your forgiveness comes cheap. Every time you keep company with people who dishonor you, you are teaching them that you will accept crumbs instead of demanding respect. Teaching others how to treat you begins with how you treat yourself. If you don't value your own time, no one else will. If you constantly put yourself last, don't be surprised when others do the same. If you speak negatively about yourself, don't be shocked when others echo those same words. Mirror you hold up to yourself is the first classroom where people learn your value. If you walk with your head down, apologizing for existing, shrinking to make others comfortable, you are teaching them that you are undeserving of honor. If you constantly explain why you're worthy of love, you are teaching them that your worth is still up for debate. But when you walk in confidence, when you know who you are, when you set a standard for how you deserve to be treated, people rise. or they leave. Either way, you win. It's not enough to hope people will respect you. You must demand it through your actions. Respect is not begged for, it is commanded by the consistency of your boundaries. When you draw a line, you must be willing to hold it. Because if you set boundaries but never enforce them, you've only spoken empty words. Empty words do not teach, they deceive. Have you noticed how people suddenly change when you stop giving them unlimited access? When you stop answering every call? When you start saying no? When you start demanding that they treat you with dignity? They call you different, distant, cold, even selfish. But what's really happening is this: you are unteaching them the old lesson of disrespect and introducing them to a new curriculum called self-respect. Yes, it may cost you some relationship, but let me tell you this: anyone who leaves because you demanded respect was only attached to the convenience of your silence, not the beauty of your soul. Their departure is not a loss, it is a graduation. You are simply moving to a higher level where your value is recognized. The world has a way of mirroring your standards back to you. If you consistently allow dishonor, the world believes that's what you deserve. When you carry yourself like someone valuable, when you stand tall in your worth, when you refuse to be treated less than what you are, suddenly the atmosphere shifts. People approach you differently. They speak with more care. They handle your presence with more respect. Why? Because you taught them to. Teaching others how to treat you is not about arrogance. It is about alignment. You are aligning their behavior with your God-given worth. You are saying, I am not common. I am not cheap. I am not replaceable. I am a treasure. I require to be treated as such. And treasures are not tossed around. They are protected. The truth is, no one else will guard your dignity for you. If you don't defend your boundaries, they will be trampled. If you don't demand respect, it will be denied. If you don't rise to your true worth, people will bury you under their convenience. It's not because they are always evil. It's because human nature responds to what is taught. So I ask you today, what are you teaching the people around you? Have you taught them that your time is valuable or that it can be wasted? Have you taught them that your love is sacred or that it can be taken for granted? Have you taught them that your voice matters or that it can be silenced? Challenge, have you taught them that your presence is a privilege or that it's just another option? You can always reteach. You can always start again. You can always raise the standard. It may shock some people. It may anger others. But eventually, it will separate the ones who truly value you from the ones who are only using you. Never forget, silence is teaching. Tolerance is teaching. Boundaries are teaching. The way you treat yourself is teaching, and every day you are training people how to handle you. If you want honor, demand it. If you want respect, live it. If you want love, model it. Because people may not always listen to what you say, but they are always watching what you allow. Stand up, draw the line, raise the bar, and declare with your actions, this is how I will be treated. Because when you decide to teach people your value, you will finally begin to experience the respect you are always worthy of. People will never fully appreciate what they can get at any time, in any way, without effort. The human heart is wired to treasure what is rare, what is costly, and what is not easily found. Scarcity creates value. Until you understand this principle, you will continue to hand out pieces of yourself to those who do not recognize your worth. Look around at the world. Everything that holds true value is scarce. Diamonds are not scattered across sidewalks. They are buried deep in the earth. Gold is not lying around in every backyard. It must be mined, refined, and purified through fire. Oil is not found in puddles on the street. It is hidden beneath layers of rock and soil, requiring intense labor to extract. Why? Because their rarity gives them value. Inaccessibility makes them desirable. Their scarcity commands respect. And yet, many of us live as if our presence, our time, our love, and our wisdom should be as common as pebbles on the ground. We show up everywhere. We say yes to everyone. We give endlessly without requiring effort, commitment, or loyalty from those around us. And then we wonder why we are overlooked, disrespected, or taken for granted. It's not because we lack value. It's because we made ourselves too common. When something is always available, people begin to take it for granted. Think about water from a tap. In most homes, it flows freely and endlessly. People let it run without thought, waste it without guilt, because it is always there. Take that same water and place it in a desert where every drop is rare, and suddenly it is treasured. People fight for it. People protect it. People pay any price to have it. The difference is not in the water itself, it is in the scarcity. In the same way, when you make yourself too available, too accessible, too present, people stop valuing you. Your calls are ignored because they assume there will always be another one. Your kindness is dismissed because they assume it comes without limits. Your presence is overlooked because they assume you will always show up again tomorrow. But when you pull back, when you create space, when you allow your absence to be felt, suddenly your value rises. Scarcity creates value. This is not about playing games or being manipulative. It is about wisdom. It is about understanding that your worth increases when people must make effort to keep you, to respect you, to honor you. When you don't allow yourself to be everywhere, people start noticing where you are. When you stop pouring endlessly into those who take you for granted, people begin to realize the weight of your presence. Have you ever noticed how people often don't appreciate someone until they are gone? While you were there, they ignored you, neglected you, even disrespected you. But the moment you withdrew, suddenly your absence spoke louder than your presence ever did. Your silence carried more power than your words. Your distance taught them a lesson your nearness never could. You were not common. You were rare. They had mishandled a treasure. Scarcity creates value because it teaches people that access to you is a privilege, not a right. It separates those who are willing to make the effort from those who are only looking for convenience. It reveals who truly respects you versus who only wanted to use you. When you create scarcity, you filter your relationships. You discover who is committed enough to pursue you and who only wanted you when you were easy to reach. Think about relationships where one person gives endlessly while the other contributes nothing. As long as the giver is always available, taker never feels the need to change. But the moment the giver pulls back, sets boundaries, and creates scarcity, the taker is forced to make a choice, step up or lose access. Scarcity forces clarity. It reveals the truth. Some of you have been drained because you made yourself too common. You were always the one to call first, to forgive first, to show up first, to sacrifice first. And instead of gratitude, you received entitlement. People came to expect from you what they never earned. They demanded from you what they never invested in. And the painful reality is this: you trained them to see you as common. But today, you can retrain them. By creating scarcity, you can remind them that your love, your time, your energy, these are treasures, not trinkets. Even in economics, scarcity drives value. When there are too many of something, the price drops. When something is limited, the price rises. That's why limited editions, rare collections, and exclusive experiences always cost more. People line up, wait for hours, and pay higher prices for something that is hard to access. The same principle applies to your life. If you are everywhere for everyone, every time, you lose value. But when you learn to pull back, to choose wisely, to be selective, you elevate your worth. Scarcity also teaches you to invest your energy where it matters most. You cannot afford to waste your strength on people who drain you, your wisdom on people who mock you, or your love on people who abuse it. By creating scarcity, you protect your resources. You ensure that what you give is planted in fertile ground, not scattered on barren soil. You ensure that your presence is felt, not ignored. You ensure that your life is honored, not exploited. This does not mean isolating yourself or living in pride. It means living with wisdom. It means knowing that your presence is not ordinary, your time is not cheap, your energy is not limitless. It means living as though your life matters because it does. Scarcity creates value because it awakens gratitude. People realize they cannot have unlimited access to you. They begin to treasure the moments they do have. They listen more carefully. They speak more respectfully. They act more intentionally. They rise to the standard you have set. And if they refuse, simply remove themselves from your life, leaving space for those who truly see your worth. You are not common. You are not ordinary. You are not replaceable. You are rare, and that rarity requires scarcity. Stop apologizing for being selective. Stop explaining your boundaries. Stop justifying your silence. The people who are meant to be in your life will value the access they have to you. They will honor it. They will protect it. Remember, this scarcity creates value. And when you finally learn to pull back, to limit access, to honor yourself with boundaries, you will discover that the people who remain are the ones who truly treasure you. You will no longer live as though your worth is negotiable. You will walk as the rare, priceless treasure that you are. There are many things you can lose in life and recover again. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose opportunities and create new ones. You can even lose relationships and eventually build others. If you lose your spirit, if you allow your inner self to be polluted, poisoned, or broken, then everything else begins to crumble. Your spirit is the wellspring of your life, and that is why, above all else, you must guard it. Your spirit is the unseen engine that drives your actions. Your thoughts, your decisions. It is the quiet place inside of you where peace lives, where joy resides, where strength is born. And yet, many people treat their spirit carelessly. They feed their bodies, they educate their minds, they chase after success, but they neglect to protect the one thing that sustains all of it, the spirit. Guarding your spirit means being intentional about what you allow in and what you allow to remain. Because everything you see, hear, entertain has the power to shape your spirit. Conversations plant seeds. Environments release atmospheres. People carry energies that either lift you up or pull you down. If you are careless about what enters your spirit, you will wonder why you are weary, discouraged, angry, or confused. And the truth will be that you failed to guard the very thing that carries your essence. Have you ever noticed how spending time with certain people leaves you drained? Even if they never said a harsh word, that's not an accident, it's spiritual leakage. When you surround yourself with negativity, with gossip, with constant complaining, those things seep into your spirit. They rob you of joy, they cloud your vision, they suffocate your peace. That is why you cannot afford to give everyone access to your spirit. Your heart is not a trash can. Your mind is not a dumping ground. Your soul is not an open playground for every passerby. Guarding your spirit also means being careful about the voices you listen to. Every voice that speaks into your life deserves to be heard. Some people plant doubt where there should be faith, fear where there should be courage, and confusion where there should be clarity. If you do not guard your spirit, you will find yourself living out the limitations of someone else's fears instead of the greatness inside of you. Your spirit is like soil. Whatever is planted will grow. If you allow negativity, bitterness, and fear to take root, they will produce destruction. But if you nurture hope, peace, love, and discipline, they will produce life. That is why guarding your spirit is not just about protection. It is also about cultivation. It is not only about saying no to the wrong things, but also about saying yes to the right ones. Feeding your spirit with inspiration. Surrounding yourself with people of integrity, filling your mind with truth, and protecting your heart with boundaries. All of this strengthens the soil of your spirit so that it produces a harvest of life. When your spirit is unguarded, you start to lose yourself. You find yourself agreeing to things you don't believe in, settling for relationships that dishonor you, chasing after goals that don't align with your values. You wake up tired, go to bed restless, and wonder why your life feels empty, even when everything on the outside looks fine. That's because the condition of your spirit always determines the condition of your life. Think about a river. If the source of the river is poison, no matter how far downstream you go, the water will be contaminated. It doesn't matter if the river flows through beautiful valleys or rich cities, the poison remains. Your spirit is the source. If it is polluted, your words will be polluted, your actions will be polluted, your relationships will be polluted. But if it is pure and guarded, everything that flows out of you will bring life. Guarding your spirit also requires solitude. Too often, we run from one activity to another, one conversation to the next, one obligation to the other, and we never take time to sit in stillness. But stillness is where your spirit breathes. Silence is where your spirit heals. Reflection is where your spirit realigns. If you never guard your time of quiet, you will become so noisy inside that you can no longer hear the whispers of truth guiding you. Let me tell you something else. Guarding your spirit will offend people. When you stop engaging in gossip, some will call you distant. When you refuse to argue and protect your peace, some will call you proud. When you choose to walk away from toxic environments, some will call you weak. Don't be deceived. Guarding your spirit is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is strength to know that you cannot afford to allow the wrong things to infect your inner life. Guarding your spirit will also mean letting go of certain people. Not everyone has earned the right to walk with you. Some people bring chaos, others bring calm. Some bring peace, others bring poison. The mistake we often make is keeping people around out of history, convenience, or guilt, even when they are destroying our spirit. Guarding your spirit means having the courage to say, I love you, but I cannot allow you to damage my soul. Care for you, but I will not sacrifice my peace for your drama. This is not cruelty, it is clarity. It is understanding that your spirit is your life. Without it, you have nothing to give. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. You cannot shine when your inner light is dim. You cannot lead when your soul is broken. Guarding your spirit is the ultimate act of stewardship over the life you have been given. So many people are exhausted, not because they are doing too much, but because they are carrying too much that was never theirs to carry. They've absorbed negativity, carried burdens, entertained distractions, and held on to people who don't belong in their lives. And now they are tired, bitter, and broken. If that is you, today be the day you decide to guard your spirit. Guarding your spirit means stepping back when necessary. It means being selective about who has access to your inner world. It means knowing when to be silent, when to walk away, and when to say no. It means protecting your joy like it's gold, shielding your peace like it's treasure, and defending your hope like it's your last breath. Because at the end of the day, everything you are flows out of your spirit. If your spirit is strong, you can endure storms. If your spirit is whole, you can survive losses. If your spirit is guarded, you can face betrayal and still rise again. But if your spirit is broken, the smallest offense will destroy you, the slightest disappointment will defeat you, and the tiniest distraction will derail you. So I say it again, guard your spirit. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. Guard it from negativity. Guard it from dishonor. Guard it from distractions. Guard it from anything and anyone that threatens your peace. Fill it with truth. Nurture it with love. Strengthen it with wisdom. Because when your spirit is guarded, you are unstoppable. You walk with clarity. You live with confidence. You shine with light that cannot be dimmed. And the world around you begins to realize that your power is not in what you have, but in who you are, rooted, grounded, and unshakable in spirit.